going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? One Eyebrow back from the PT channel to talk about The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 15, the trailer breakdown and opening minutes breakdown that we're going to do for you here. Obviously, spoiler warning, if you don't want those information, stop watching now. If you're not up to date of the series, the show, all the good stuff, or you're just worried about spoilers, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but we saw the trailer and the opening minutes. We got the breakdown for you. We're going to talk about it, discuss it, and as always, guys, let me know your thoughts of the trailer breakdown for episode 815. If you love The Walking Dead like we do, join our Walking Dead family by subscribing to the PT channel and becoming a valued member. I hope you do. Now, the trailer starts with Dwight coming out of the sanctuary doors where he's smoking, and it clearly says on the sign, no smoking allowed, but Dwight doesn't care. Dwight does what Dwight does. No, I'm just kidding. But Dwight is walking out of the sanctuary doors, and he is met by Negan. It's kind of crazy to think that Negan comes back to the sanctuary. Dwight is shocked, obviously. Who was in the car with Negan last episode in 814? Who do you think it is, guys? We don't see any evidence in the trailer who it was, but to me, the best guess would be Laura. We'll talk about why that makes the most sense, and it's not good news for Dwight, that's for sure, but Dwight sees Negan. It's shocking to Dwight to see Negan just hanging out there because they don't know what happened to him. But we'll see the interaction with Simon and Negan and Dwight in the episode. It's not going to look good for Simon and Dwight that Negan's back around. We'll see how it goes down. I'm interested to see. How about you guys? They have a plan going forward to go back to the hilltop. Negan is setting up what to do next. I don't really see Simon here, even though he could be right on the edge of the picture on the far right side. That kind of looks like Simon, but you see a Rot, Gary, Dwight, and Negan, and another lieutenant there. They're looking at a map and coming up with the plan. The promo picture here, we see Negan talking with Dwight. We'll see what happens here. Was it Laura in the car? Did Laura tell Negan about Dwight? Or does Negan not know yet? Could happen either way, but it's not going to look good for Simon, that's for sure. We'll talk about more of that in a second. But here's the picture of the map. They're doing something. It kind of looks like a smiley face a little bit. What their plan of attack is, to come around and flank it or do something. We'll see if they actually make it to the hilltop or not, or where the battle goes on, or if it happens in this episode or the finale. But Negan is going to attack Rick and the hilltop most likely again. Dwight looks on like, interesting plan. And as we know, that Dwight is Team Rick. So he's going to come up with a plan to warn Rick what the plan is. Maybe this is Negan's way to set up Dwight. If he knows that they know about the plan, he knows that Dwight is the rat or something here, possibly. Negan's got to find out, right? But as you can see in the picture here, that Dwight is making a separate map of the map that Negan used to warn Rick. We'll highlight it in a second, but Dwight is Team Rick. We'll see if his connection with Daryl is a good one going forward, but Daryl's got to trust Dwight. I think we can. But as you can see there, it's written, tomorrow afternoon, Negan and 10 men at the X. Other 11-person teams at each of the circles, and Negan and the rest end this. So Dwight is clearly warning Rick and the group what's going down. We'll see if it's a setup or not. Hilltop, we'll see this in the opening minutes. The hilltop is where Rick is reading the letter that Carl wrote him. It's basically read by Carl's voice. We'll talk more about that in the next section of this video. But Maggie is leading the hilltop. I thought Gregory might be in the car with Negan, but he's right there in the pen, the far left with Eduardo. So what happened with Gregory? How did he get away? Did he get caught? Did he come back on his own? What's going on with Gregory? Did he make it out of the bar? Did he even make it to the bar with the group? Not sure what happened, but Gregory is right there back in the pen. Maggie looks thrilled that Gregory is back. Maggie's looking on, probably at Gregory like, what are we going to do with this guy? I have to get rid of him, but I can't get rid of him. We'll worry about that after the war. We'll see what happens with Gregory. Is he going to get his comic storyline or not? You see Michonne walking in the background. We'll see Rick and Michonne coming to talk to Maggie what the next step is and what's the plan. The hilltop and everybody really is running low on supplies, weapons, bullets to stop another attack. If and when Negan comes back around to attack the hilltop, how can they defend it? What's their best plan for that. We'll see what happens and what their ideas and their plan going forward is. But I'm excited for episode 15 and 16. Michonne and Rick are looking on. Michonne's giving the look like, you sure about this, Rick? I don't know about this. What should we do? I'm not sure what the plan is going forward, but Rick's got to do something for the next altercation with Negan, because you know it's coming, most likely in the season 8 finale. Here's a picture of some burnt bodies. You can see some skeletons and bones and skulls and rib cages. It looks to be ashes. There's a lot of burnt bodies here. So are the Saviors just burning their bodies of the dead? What's going on here? What is Rosita and Daryl doing here? Are they trying to escape? Are they trying to go in to the outpost and take down Eugene and stop the bullets from even making their way to the sanctuary and back to the Saviors? I'm not sure 100%, but Daryl and Rosita are working together to stop the bullets from making their way to the Saviors, because the Saviors have to plan another attack. You know the war is not over just yet, but Daryl takes out a walker. They're going near something. I don't know what the plan is. Maybe they see and they witness the Saviors leave with the bullets. So maybe they're following them. They run into some trouble and maybe they have to figure out a plan what to do. But Daryl and Rosita are working together. Do they run into Eugene? Do they even see Eugene? Do they see Father Gabriel? What happens here with Rosita and Daryl and Eugene and Father Gabriel and the Saviors? I'm not sure 100%, but I'm assuming it has something to do with the bullet maker, the bullet makings, Eugene, the casings. I'm guessing that Eugene makes the bullets, but we'll see. Are they good? Are they sabotaging bullets? Are they going to be in the guns of the Saviors that backfire on there? The word is that it's Eugene sets up the Saviors by making the bullets explode in the guns when the Saviors try to fire them on Rick and Rick's group. So Eugene comes back to Team Rick. We'll see if that happens or not. Here's a good shot of Aaron being surrounded by Oceanside. The sneak peek clip on The Talking Dead was Aaron all alone fighting off some walkers. Does Aaron recruit Oceanside? They come back around in this episode, but do they join the fight? Is Aaron left packing? I don't know, but he's been there for a while. I would assume that Oceanside comes to join the fight, and the faces of the women here are pretty funny, looking at Aaron like, what are you doing? Why are you still here? We told you not to be here anymore. They don't have any guns at Oceanside. They have spears and knives, and that's it. So can they help the fight? I hope so. I would like to see that for sure. Then we got Simon and Dwight talking about what to do next. Negan is back. Simon's got to be like, oh crap. What are we going to do now? Negan is still alive. And that really has to be Simon's worst case scenario, that Negan's still alive, he's fine, and he's back in power at the sanctuary. It's got to be really tough for Simon to deal with that. Simon looks to be recruiting his own part of the Saviors to join his side against Negan. We'll see if there is some infighting, some civil war between Simon and Negan, and I think that's one of the big ways that the Saviors go down is the infighting. We know that Dwight is Team Rick. He's probably have to play the cool side to join Simon. Maybe he goes on Simon's side or Negan's side, or he tries to stay out of it. But I think he has to choose a side. We'll see how he plays it. He probably just steps away one way or another to let them infight, because Simon's not going to back down and Negan's definitely not going to back down. So you got two alphas going at each other. There's going to be some fighting. Who's going to make it out? My money's on Negan. Simon versus Negan. I think it's coming, guys. Stephen Ogg is going to be on The Talking Dead next week, so we'll see if that's his last episode on the show or not. What do you think, guys? I think it could be. Laura could be in the car with Negan. We didn't see who it was when Negan picked up a random person in the woods. It could be Laura. It makes sense that it's Laura. Who else would be in the woods? It could be Gregory, but Gregory was obviously back at the hilltop. If Laura's back at the sanctuary, that's bad news for Dwight. Now, the opening minutes of episode 815 are pretty much all about Rick reading the letter from Carl. Carl's voice is actually reading the letter to Rick, and it's about prior experiences with Rick and Carl and times that they had together, as Rick looks at Michonne and Judith, and you can see Morgan at Hilltop, and Rick's just reading the letter, and Chandler Riggs' voice is actually reading the letter, like, I remember my 8th birthday, and you can kind of make out the letter a little bit if you want to pause it, but it's just kind of cool because it's finally getting read. Negan's letter, we didn't see much of it. We could make out a little bit, but this is much more involved with Rick's letter. Chandler's handwriting is pretty bad, but Carl's letter will be read out loud by Chandler Riggs. It's like Rick is reading it, but Carl is writing at the same time. And I understand what they're doing here. It's meant to be like Carl is bridging the gap between Rick and Negan. And Carl even says in the letter, I wanted to kill Negan, but I didn't, and maybe I should have. It just would have ended differently between everything. But it's just kind of a touching moment. I can kind of understand what they're doing with it. To me, the Carl death doesn't make any sense for the show, but you can see Jerry holding baby Gracie. He kind of like is rocking with her as Rick is reading the letter, and it's just nice to see Jerry kind of comforting baby Gracie, and you could see the world of what the world should be in The Walking Dead at Hilltop with everybody coming together, and that's what you want after the war. The new beginning storyline is kind of being hinted at here. You see Morgan looking on at his surroundings in the Hilltop. He's most likely looking at the prisoners or people working at the sanctuary still, everyone working together. I'm guessing they're the prisoners because it looks to be inside the barbed wire, but Morgan's still in clear mode, I'm guessing. And they pan to Rick as he reads more of the letter. And it's just a nice little sentiment between Carl and Rick. You see Maggie walking to a car that pretty much resembles the same car that Carol drove away in when Rick told her to leave, that she was banished from the prison. You see Maggie put something in the car, and that's kind of a nice little Easter egg callback. Hilltop is highlighted here as Carl reads the letter, and it's a lot to do with the world going forward, everyone working together. You see Cal and Eduardo. Eduardo comes and relieves Cal at the lookout point. You see Sadiq come out of the trailer. Sadiq takes a break and he looks up in the sun and just takes a breather and stretches out a little bit. Then you see Rick reading more of the letter, and you can see Rick, the words of Carl are being sunk into Rick a little bit more. Rick is having a hard time losing Carl, as everyone would be. You lost your son in this war, but it didn't have anything to do with the war itself. With Negan, it had something to do outside of the war. But Carl is trying to bridge the gap to calm Rick down, and I like that about it, but I just think the death of Carl is unnecessary for the show. It did not need to happen. But Rick finishes the note. He looks down and sees Michonne walking with Judith. It's just a nice moment because you want to have Judith, Michonne, and Rick going forward in life, and that's what Carl wants. Michonne looks up at Rick. Rick looks down at Michonne and sees Michonne smiling at him, and that's the end of the opening minutes of episode 815. I'm excited for it. How about you guys? Let me know your thoughts. Find us at the PT channel on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Those are my 6 books available now. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Kindle versions, digital and paperback, obviously. Become a PTP by subscribing, guys. I really hope you do. I'm really excited for the future of the PT channel. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers. Stay in the know by subscribing. We have prizes and giveaways for our subscribers. To be eligible, you got to be a subscriber. Let me know your thoughts about episode 815. I'm excited for it. It looks to be another great episode. And remember, guys, believe in yourself. If you can dream it, you can do it.